Good morning, this is Krishna McKenzie bringing you a road back to nature. This is Auroville's permaculture live TV radio show to give you an inspiration of how can we get our society more involved with where their food comes from. Because where their food comes from is obviously our primary, reflection of our relationship with Mother Nature. And today in Auroville Radio Studios at the Town Hall, we have Alessandra with me, who is a friend who's Aurovillian, living here with her kids, and she's been very inspired by the gardening since the lockdown. Yes?
Yes, so true.
I think in March you came to see me with Shanks,
Yes.
and you started the first
Raised
beds.
Yes, it was in March.
And since then, what's been growing?
It's been growing a lot, especially inside me. A
Okay.
lot of awareness
Okay.
about the generosity of nature. When you came the first time, you showed me how many plants are naturally growing around us, and we don't acknowledge them, we don't know them. And they provide us with food, but also medicine.
Yes, medicine and also artistic things as well. And yeah, there's so many aspects to nature.
Yeah, it's so generous in terms of beauty, food, and health. And being in Auroville is also an advantage, because if you live in a city, you have to take a car or take your time and reach out, a farm or a field.
And here it's all around you.
It's all around us, and often we don't even see that.
Yeah, I mean, I call this food ignorance, rather than how to say it. There's not a food security issue. There's a food ignorance issue. I think I've seen some posts you do on, because Alessandra is also a photographer. A lot of her work has gone up on the Community Garden Projects page on Facebook. Beautiful photos. And I think that you have posted some of the dishes you made, no? I saw some pesto and with the chicken spinach and...
Yes, like you, I like to experiment. So I mix Italian kitchen with Tamil herbs and plants. And always something delicious come out. And I'm just doing that also to involve the kids.
Yeah, they enjoy to be a part of it.
Yeah, because the first challenge was skepticism from my children. What is this? I'm not used to that. I don't want to eat.
Right.
But then when I take a dose and I make it like a pizza with tomato and farm cheese, and then I add chicken spinach on top, everyone is happy.
Everyone's happy. So you found a way to integrate. I think that's one of the main challenges is, I mean, I always tell, everyone knows my story, I always tell to people that probably the best thing we can do on this road back to nature is just to start eating local food. It's the first thing. And of course, as you say, not everyone is going to eat like a samba or a korumbu or a... these dishes, local dishes, but they might eat a dosa morphed into a pizza with, local spinaches. That's a really, I would say it's a really big key in finding the crossover, the fusion areas.
In fact, we also have this vision of creating like a digital magazine with innovative and traditional recipes mixed to bring on everyone's table ideas. And
that's one of our projects that
food.
Is on it's on the shelf at the moment. But it's it was a beautiful project that we came up with called 365 Days. And it's 365 days in a year, no? 365 days. And every day would be like a hint, a little idea for people to say, hey, I can do this. I can try this today. So every day would be, a step on the road back to nature. And I think we're going to do this project. It'll take us a moment just to get our bearings. But that project, I'm sure such ideas, they will manifest in a very natural way. What challenges have you got in Shanti?
So many.
So what's the challenges for the garden?
As a beginner, I can name all of them because each challenge brought me to a new level of awareness on how to deal with it. And it's been useful to face those challenges as an individual, but also through our group. So first of all is neighbors. Many people look at circle gardens as ugly. Why don't you put flowers and beautiful plants? Why are you spoiling with these leaves and sticks? So they don't see why. Then the use of water. Also think people ask, why are you using so much water? And then you remember my response, I was not offended. I truly thought they would not understand unless I would make them realize that also when we go to PTDC and we buy tomatoes, we are using waters.
From somewhere else.
From somewhere else.
Exactly.
So why using someone's farm's water is better than using our own? It's better to use our own and be conscious of how much also we consume. So now I know how much water I need, and I even give more value to the water I use. So then I just upcycle, I call it, barren land.
Land, yeah.
Yes, it was not used. It was dry. And now, slowly, I learned doing composting. I learned that also worms and insects are not enemies, but are part of nature's gift.
Right.
In this whole perspective that is permaculture, where everyone is needed, and even if I step out, then nature should be able to continue without me.
Definitely, yes.
But of course, at the beginning is when it's harder because you need to put a lot of efforts to restore. To come back. What we have impacted.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
So the biggest challenge for me was learning how to communicate with the soil. I didn't have this communication. I come from a big city. I always lived in a city, but I knew that one day I would have started this road back to nature. And yes, I see like recognizing plants, knowing when to put a seed, recognizing what is growing from that seed. I think I could have not made it alone. But during the lockdown, magically the group came up because I realized I was not the only one with this need.
Group.
Yes, the Circle Garden group came out spontaneously.
Very
Nobody
dynamic.
planned it.
No.
Even children start their own circle gardens. So I can see how the community is key to support each other when we lack knowledge.
Yes.
Also workforce and time.
I mean, talking about community, yesterday we met at Alok's place for the first collective nursery work.
Yes.
That was amazing, no?
It was amazing.
Yeah, we were like 12, 13 people, no?
Everyone busy.
Preparing the soil, filtering the compost.
Filling
up the pots, putting seeds, watering them, putting them safely. Yeah, for me it is like, wow, that's like a very significant moment, because if we can create, all the tomato plants we need for our group and more people, there's going to be abundance of tomatoes. If we do the same thing with basil and the same thing with capsicum and the same thing with chili and eggplant, slowly we address, such simple needs and show to each other that we can do it.
Exactly. And the process is exponential. Because if you give me the seedlings of the tomatoes, I'll be able also through the seeds that I can harvest to do
replicate.
the same.
Yes,
if we go on like this, by next season, we will all have enough seedlings.
It will be a new norm.
To involve new people.
It will be a normal in Auroville that at least in this season we don't buy tomatoes, and at least in this season no one buys eggplant. Why would you buy eggplant in Auroville? Because everyone is growing it. Even I don't grow it, but all my neighbors, they have too much.
Yeah.
That's the attitude we have to, and then wake our eyes up to all the spinaches, and then to see, this particular pumpkin variety, this one that Stefano grew, how abundant. Imagine everyone put that in the summer. It would be crazy, The possibility is really there to make something happen.
Yes.
And I also like very much this the discussions that are going on at the moment with some of the gardens. Like I know in Sincerity. Where's Reka? Serenity. Right. So in Serenity, so they're looking at everyone. There's like 3 or 4 people. They're going to put, say, 5,000 rupees each person into a pot. And then they all equal. Like they own that garden together, they've invested in that space. And I think this is very healthy. That it's not one person's project.
It's
not like it's not on your. Everyone addresses it together. We need a little bit of money for a fence, but it's there. We need to repair this. We need to fix a pump. We all chip in and we make it happen, and it really becomes a collective.
Exactly.
And then this is a sort of the idea of what I think a sort of a real group,
Yes,
would do. Would be
think
supporting each other.
Of who doesn't have a piece of land or lives in a third floor apartment in Auroville. So
and offer them opportunity.
Yes. By sharing the costs and the space, you have your own food harvesting space.
Yes.
And you share with others. So it's also valuable for who doesn't have his own garden.
Alok's one has come on very well. There's I think at least 5 people who've signed up together.
Yes,
together. There you sense there's some dynamic, And who knows where it will go. One day we might have the town hall covered with tomatoes like I tried to do in the past. Could be amazing, no? You walk out and you harvest.
Yeah, but already if we walk around town hall, we can already find so many local spinach.
We can, yes.
Growing spontaneously.
We can.
Like in my garden, but before I didn't know they were there. So even in town hall, I think nature already is providing us with some greens.
It's there. Very nice. And are you going to keep on doing some more photos? I saw you sent some yesterday.
Always.
Beautiful photos of the nursery.
Yes.
Maybe we'll go for another round of Auroville and do some more documentation. Because I think we did in the very beginning and then we did after 2 months. Now it's like 4 months, I think. It's quite...
Yes,
it's quite
and also
spectacular.
The kids in Surrender have started harvesting.
In Invocation.
And also in Aditi. I've seen like
Aditi is amazing.
Big farm now.
They have
big trees. I don't know how
corn
they manage.
Plants and they brought some harvest for me to eat at my home. It was very sweet of them.
Serenity also deserves after the before, now the after shot.
No, it's going amazing.
Yes, we should track the progress done from the beginning when we created the beds up to now that we have already started harvesting, and then we will also see how this changes during the monsoon time and what the monsoon is able to bring with the humidity, different climate and water. Like for me is a new discovery. I started during summertime, so it was kind of
a challenging
start. I think
it's going to be very inspiring what we grow now until March. I think there's going to be a huge growth in Auroville in the terms of what we... I think the documentation will be really good if people start to make a note of what they're harvesting approximately. This week I harvested, 3 or 4 kilos from the garden. This week, we start to get some figures and we can demonstrate. Because you see these posts on Facebook, United Nations say that kitchen gardens are the only solution. Okay, but then we have to demonstrate that, we have to demonstrate that in Auroville now there is, say, 20 kitchen gardens, and this is what they've produced.
It's been done enough research. Now it's time to implement it. And then also for all those people I meet around and they show interest in the circle garden, I think it's also good to tell them that it's not too late to join. Actually, now is the best timing because we still have a month before the monsoon.
Well, I thought that with the nursery and Angad, you met Angad yesterday, our wonderful potter from Kotakrai. So he's got these beautiful pots he wants to give. I thought that if we could give a little kit to someone, I don't know, maybe they pay 1,000 rupees and you get, you get 2 aubergine, 2 this, couple of that, one of this, one of that.
Pots.
You make a little circle garden, you plant the things, you set it up with the mulch, you give them 1 pipe with a sprinkler, it just is too easy. They just turn that on. And we can get that going in many places. Maybe someone like Yermalai, who is our great farmer from Matu who works with us. Maybe someone like him, offer him a job as well, that he goes, and plants these in people's houses when... Because I think that people are looking for the solutions because not everyone is like you. Because I saw the bed you made. It's so beautiful with all the wood and leaves. That's your inspiration. For some people, maybe really need a helping hand, and I think that this is also a good way forward.
So we have
as
two
well.
options. One is by joining the community and do a rotation in each one's gardens.
Go and visit each other.
Depending on time and availability, someone can also rely on
Definitely.
expertise.
I think it's all is important.
And learn. Like me, she learned from Elumarai. And she calls him her teacher. She
but
told
he's
me he's
amazing.
not a gardener, he's a teacher.
And he's got a big heart as well.
And he's creating sustainability because now what she has learned from him, she will be able to
Yesterday
spread.
she put the cucumbers that she harvested in the pickles, because they make a Korean pickle. So. Anyway, thank you so much for coming, Alexander. Very nice. I hope it gives a little bit of a vision to the viewers of what we're doing in Auroville. I would say that this is the most significant work going on in Auroville at the moment, in that it is involving quite a lot of people.
Of all ages.
Of all ages. There's senior people, there's kids, there's all sorts of people. At least 30 plus people are engaged in this and really making something happen collectively. And I think that that's the very essence of that is, can have a very profound impact on what Auroville really is. So, it's only just started. And now is the winter season coming. It's going to be very fun.
Thanks, Krishna,
Thank
for
you so much.
supporting and inspiring all of us.
Thank you. Thank you, Stefano.
Thank
Ciao.
you.